Hi, I'm Ross Tayler, your host and guide for Sacred Sundays, a space to slow down, tune in, and return to what's sacred within and around you. I'm also a life coach who supports empaths and sensitive souls, guiding them on the journey back to self-acceptance and inner alignment. My passion is connecting with like-minded souls, and these conversations are part of fulfilling my purpose and serve to deepen our collective exploration of what it means to live in connection with the sacred. Some weeks you'll hear a sound-based offering to open the space, other times we'll simply begin in conversation. However it unfolds, this is an invitation into presence, connection, and the beauty of the unseen. If you enjoy these conversations, please subscribe, rate, and share so others can find their way here. So pour a cup of tea, settle in, and let's begin. Today I'm joined by Eva Grodt, the energetic force behind Shift in Action, the long-running metaphysical community in Parksville. For the last 15 years, Eva has been creating spaces for metaphysical talks, healing events, and metaphysical psychic and wellness fairs, bringing together people who are seeking spiritual growth, self-understanding, and a clearer connection to mind, body, and spirit. Through Shift in Action, she's helped build a community where like-minded people can explore new pathways of living, expand their awareness, and cultivate more meaningful relationships with themselves, each other, and the world around them. Welcome to the Sacred Sundays podcast, and so happy to have you here.
Well, and thank you very much for having me.
You are very welcome. And before we talk about Shift in Action, I'd love to hear about your personal journey with metaphysical work and the modalities or practices that you currently share in the world.
Yeah, it actually all happened with that. I had a fall and damaged my shoulder. In the hospital, I realized I was talking to my shoulder, telling it we're going to be okay. This is going to be okay. And then it so happened a minister walked by and wanted to chat, and he introduced me to Reiki. So it was that visit to the hospital. I was there for 3 days, but after I started to learn about Reiki, and once you get a taste of it, you just keep going, and then came healing touch and a whole bunch of other modalities. So and I got into feng shui, and I just couldn't get enough of all these interesting things, and realizing there was way more to me than just, eating, sleeping, and working. That was how I got really started. So I'm ever so grateful. I still have some little issues with that shoulder, but I am so grateful that it started me that way. That without that, I might not have started at that time.
Mm. And how long ago was that?
That was 25 years ago.
25 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Shift in Action has been around for the last 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we had a small group that met here in my living room, just, 4 or 5 of us, and it grew to 8, and just like-minded people talking about different things that you don't talk to just anybody about, like energy and like all metaphysical stuff, past lives, and so on. And then they had a wellness fair up here at the community center, and they were looking for somebody to do something different. So we offered to play the video of the living matrix.
Mm.
And then we silly put up a sign saying, if you would like to join our little group, you could sign up. And we had 60 people sign up. We knew that my living room wouldn't do it. Ran over to the community center and asked, we need a room. And so that's how Shift in Action started. And we had 2 speakers a month, and we also had an evening where we just did videos. It was all like metaphysical related, yes.
So it would be like watching a video and then a discussion afterwards?
Yeah. And
Okay.
then when we had the speakers in, I always looked at Shift in Action as a win-win, because the speakers had a chance to promote and talk about what they had to offer in the community. And the community had the opportunity to meet the practitioner before that they made an appointment. And yeah, it It really has worked. And many people have told me that, wow, that was all new to me, but a friend brought me, and it just
Hmm.
opened up so many avenues for me.
Wow. And how do you account for the piece of like Parksville is not a huge population, and yet for you to have these numbers, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, when we're Qualcomm and Coombs, and so they would come, yeah, and there's a lot of time people would come from the NIMO.
Okay.
Yeah, and I knew the people that did the metaphysical group in Nanaimo, so we alternated. They did one Thursday night, and I did the next Thursday night. So over the years, we never overlapped.
That's amazing. And why do you think there's so much interest in Parksville?
Well, we are in a retirement community, and I think it's also just the time,
Hmm.
and people are starting to question more what is life all about, why am I here? And yeah, we're coming into that later season in our life, and we start to wonder what's going on. Why am I here? And yeah,
And there's no question in my mind, having arrived in back on the island, because I was here for a short time in 2012 for about a year and a half. And back then I didn't see as much activity. However, now it's like there's so much happening in the metaphysical community in Nanaimo and Parksville and like across the island, really. And how do you account for the fact that there's so many practitioners and healers doing such amazing work here?
I think that it also has to do with the island itself. I truly
Mm,
believe the island is one big crystal that we live on. I feel very blessed to live here. Yes, I think it has a lot to do with the island itself. And here in Parksville, we we kind of have a joke saying, if you're not a healer, you must be an artist. It's one
right.
or the other, like, yes. And we have seen so many group show up, like be generated, and so much is happening right now. But I also think that the YouTube has a lot to do with it. People become more aware of different things. And then to have a group where you can actually go and sit and chat about it and be with like-minded people. It's important. For me, it's very important that people gather. There is
Hmm.
no question in my mind that gathering people, getting people together, that is a big one for me. Like community,
Hmm.
community, community.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast is because I've witnessed that. I equate it to, like you are the person beating the drum, right? Of like calling people out and making it happen. And your energy is so vibrant in terms of the leadership that you bring to drawing those people in. And I guess that is one of the pieces I'm curious about is like what drives that? And you just answered that question. But what keeps you going? Because we are in changing times and it's been 15 years. So it's like, what is it? Is it just that keeps you going, or is there more?
I sometimes ask myself that question.
Mm,
Why am I still doing it? But there is such a draw within me, and even if I reach just one person that make a difference in their life, getting to know themselves better.
hmm. Yeah.
I remember the day when somebody said, do you know who you are? I would say, yeah, my name is Eva, da, 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 da. And now it is so different, and how I have seen myself change over the years, and
Mm,
much more peaceful I live in within myself. It that if I can share any of that and introduce people to somebody that can help them get to that place. But it's something you have to do yourself. You
hmm.
can go to everything and hear, but you have to do the work. Like it really it it's a work in progress to get to know yourself, but the benefit is humongous.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I see that every day in the work that I do as well. And I think you just highlighted well, a couple things, but one is the action part of shift in action. And I feel like whenever I say it, I can kind of feel the intention of that. It's like it's about doing something about what we're learning as well. Is that correct?
Yes. And
Mm,
yes, I am known for that. People will say, be careful what you ask Eva for, because she will say, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
right. And the other thing you mentioned was being more peaceful inside of yourself. And I wonder what you can share for our listeners about that journey, because I really do think that being more peaceful in ourselves and that how far reaching that is the thing that can impact our everyday life. So, what would you have to say about discovering that peacefulness
Well,
within yourself?
well, how I discovered that there was a core to me, like there was the true essence to me, my connection to the source, to the higher power. I do use the word God, like that there was way more to me. And that was in a meditation. Somebody kept saying, go within, or you have to go within. And then somebody said, oh, it's like an onion,
Mm,
you just peel the layers away. And so I followed that. And I was just out of a sudden, whoa, there I was. And I'm going, well, no wonder I couldn't go in because I was already there. How could
right.
I possibly go within when I was already there? It was so huge for me that pushing things away, unraveling and taking the layers away, there I was. There was such a feeling. It was amazing. I still practice that, to be out in the world and be in contact with, because it's there at all times. You
Mhm,
can be in the most stressful situation, but that peace within, like your connection to the higher power, is always there no matter what is happening in your life. So that's what I'm practicing the most these days, is that if something challenging me, and that if I catch myself and I'm saying, go to that heart space, we're calling it now. It's so interesting over the years how we started using different words, right? It was
mm.
peace within. Now it's all about heart space. It's being in your heart. And that to me is being in my core. And that's what I'm working on. It's a work in progress.
And it's interesting because I have run your human design chart, and we haven't really talked about it, but I know that heart space for you, that center, what we refer to as the G center in human design, it's a very important part of who you are and how you show up and the energies that come from that, and that you express those out in the world. And a big part of that is actually your voice as well. And that living from our heart really is such an important piece. And it is something that is being talked about a lot now. So I
Yes.
really hear that. And that's the opposite of living from the mind. I mean, the mind can only create distortion, really.
Yes, and that is one thing that I have learned, and I absolutely can agree with, and that is that an emotion only lasts 90 seconds. Like I could have like an anger feeling coming up in me. I could have a sadness coming up within me, but that emotion only lasts 90 seconds. Then my chatter mind and my ego, or whatever we call it, that start to create a story. Let's say if I'm angry, if I all of a sudden just feel so angry, and then I can, it's just that then yeah, okay, well, they were wrong, and that shouldn't have happened. And then I build a story. But
Hmm.
when that feeling comes up, and it usually starts in the gut, you got this, we said it for years, I have this gut feeling about it. So when that feeling comes, then just go, wow, I'm
Hmm.
feel anger coming up. And it's like it diminished. And I also know that if I can come from that heart space and being aware of that I have some anger here, then I can communicate like way, way better with people. It's when you start to scream at people because you're so upset, you totally lose your power.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like when you start to scream and get really angry, and sometimes you can't even remember what you said. But that to me is so important to practice that.
I love that. And And it makes me want to ask you, what are the kind of things that you say to people when they're starting their journey and starting this exploration? Like where do you begin with people?
Well, I talk to them about your experience, like, right, what we are doing here, saying that how I got into it by accident and the importance of me and learning to get to know myself.
Mhm.
So that's where I would say, "Phil, just start to pay attention to what runs around in your head. What are you thinking? Not every thought is yours." And then it's like you can't start and because sometimes I catch myself, I want them to learn right away that it would have taken me 25 years to learn.
Mhm.
It's all a process. It's all a process. And then, but to get a feeling of where people are at and then just do little seeds, just little things to practice on. But I would say the one to practice on to be aware of your breathing and just start to listen to what runs in your head.
Mhm.
Is it really me thinking that?
Right.
Is that really me? It's shocking when you start to pay attention, and I like to sometimes I call it I step aside of myself, and then when somebody says something, it's like I'm observing myself, I'm
Mhm.
witnessing myself, and sometimes I will hear myself ask, Eva, how are you gonna respond to that?" But it's
Yeah.
like I take charge of my mind.
Yeah, it's an interesting piece. It reminds me of one of the things that I say the most, which is because most of the people in the world, we have got this energy to move fast through the world. And the thing about that is that yes, we've got this energy to move quickly and make decisions quickly, some of us, but really we're meant to go slow to go fast. Like we're really being asked to go like to really slow down. And from that place, like just be really intentional. And it's the opposite of the mind. It's like letting places in the body guide us instead of this mental energy. And we live in a world that is asking us to go so quickly and to get results. And it's really not our nature to have that experience.
No, because we're not in the present moment. That's another good starter place is to really be in the present moment. Peel
Mm.
a potato and really, really focus on what you're doing. And that's what I think that we start to pay more attention to, like being in the present moment.
Mhm.
The time is going fast, like it is somehow speeding up. And the more that we can slow down, and these last year or two, there's been so much coming, teaching us how to be aware of the breath,
Right.
how important that is. And now the word we hear a lot is rhythmic breathing, and just
Mhm.
being aware of your own rhythm. And yes, there's exercises you do that is really good for you, different ways of breathing, but just to pay attention. That's the same as when I do give like a Reiki session and like that. That is to be aware of your breathing. That's all you have to be aware of is that you're breathing. And that is just such a miracle in itself.
The concept of coming into the present moment. I think of those of us who are worried about paying bills and worried about family and worried about friendships and conflicts and all of those things that are taking us out of the present moment. There's so much distraction. How do you help someone to see that piece?
Well, I'm also very much with the manifesting. Like I have said for a long, long, long time, like a worry is a prayer. And
Mm,
I have had so many people not agree with me on that. How can you say that? Like when I worry, that's totally different from a prayer. But it really isn't, because when you're in a worry, you're so intense and so into it. And when you're in a prayer, you're in your heart and you're putting all your feelings into it. It's all about feeling it. And the
mm,
universe does not know the difference. They match your vibration. So if I vibrate in fear and worry, then universe gives me more to worry about because it says she likes to worry. That's the feeling she likes to be in. She likes to be in that energy of worrying. And oh, and then when I'm happy, then oh, she wants to be happy. We got to give her something to be happy about. She runs into this situation or happy people and things unfold. And we know that from, we always call it, oh, they got the wrong foot out of bed, or you got a rough start on the day. And when your morning starts to flow, you try to pay attention to how your whole day starts to flow. And you start up worrying, and I'm not belittling, because I certainly can go into worry, but that actually frightens me because I go, no, no, I don't want to be in that worry because that energy I give out and then I get served more of that. It's a game. It takes a long time, and I practice it a lot, and I still jump in with both feet. Traumatic things happens in life, but we can't worry about the world out there.
Yeah.
We have to just focus on ourselves. We have to be gentle with ourselves. But it is something to think about, and it is a feeling, like you yourself know that, and it's hard to explain that. Like my morning starts with gratitude, and I go through the day in my mind, what is, on my calendar, where I'm going, what I'm doing, who I'm talking to. And I just go through it and I see everything go smoothly and I see myself smiling. And I mean, if I start my day off wondering, oh yeah, I have that meeting. Oh, that's not going to go good. Like, oh my goodness, no, 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 that's not going to go good. Well, I set myself up for that. I
Hmm.
prayed for that. I prayed for a bad meeting.
Yeah. And I can relate to that. I mean, I spent 27 years, I think, working in food service and corporate environments and in management positions. And I think about how many days I woke up and not wanting to go to work because of the things that I knew were waiting for me and the things that I didn't know how to face and the challenges, and those things can be all consuming. And if I think to where I am now, it is very intentional, like you said, like waking up and having a practice and creating that energy. And at the same time, if I'm honest, like I think of some of the things you said about the worry is prayer and how people would react to that. Like there's still layers to this for me. Like my onion is still getting peeled, and I will be confronted by ideas like that, and I'm still on the journey. Like I'm still learning and growing, and I have those moments just like everybody else. So I really feel for people who are trying to get out of that everyday energy and shift gears, and how hard it is. So I love that you mentioned like planting seeds and letting them grow and letting that journey appear quite organically.
Yeah, it truly is to be in gratitude. If we could think, and that is another thing that whenever I'm grateful for something, before I go to sleep at night, I call it my gratitude time, and I always, um, I'm grateful for this. It could be as simple. I'm so grateful for the pillow that I have here to put my head on. I am so grateful for this or that. There is no, you can be grateful for something small or you can be grateful for something really big. Your body doesn't know the difference. It only knows the feeling of gratitude.
Mhm.
And when I go to sleep like that, I sleep a lot better.
It's so true. I worked at it was actually called the Chopra Addiction and Wellness Center in Squamish, and they had a practice every night of having the guests come and sit together in a circle and share the things that they were grateful for that had happened throughout the day. And that practice, because they did it with each other, like it really created this cohesion between them, but it really shifted the energy. Like even if people were having a bad day, the moment they heard other people share their gratitude, it would wake up something in them. And it was a really powerful practice.
And they can now show whether they can, really test for so many things, but they know that Even if you put a fake smile on your face, starts reacting within
It's
you.
true. It's very true.
Your body doesn't know, but yeah, and we know that we out on the street or checking out at the grocery store, if the cashier doesn't have a smile on her face, well, let's give her one, like, or him. Yeah, it makes a big difference because when you automatically smile back, it is extremely hard to not smile back at somebody
Hmm.
when they're smiling, and it's that contagious. And once they start to like smile a little bit, systems changes.
Yeah, it's a fact. I mean, it's scientifically proven that that is what happens, especially with gratitude. It lights up a very specific part of the brain. Where do you think we're headed? What do you think is coming? There's a lot of talk in metaphysical communities about the shift that's happening and the change that's happening. And I think you've been around long enough in this work to know that that's been talked about forever. We refer to it as ascension. What is it that you see is coming, and do you think it's coming sooner than later?
I don't think it's something that is gonna happen overnight. I don't think it's something that is gonna happen soon. We truly is on a journey. I feel extremely blessed that I was picked to be here in human form at this time to see it unravel. I have a sense I will see some big changes before that my life is over. But I'm positive. And that is one thing I started to tell myself, be excited about the unknown. Why
Mm,
do we always, and that's programmed into us, that it's unknown, you have to be scared. I know I had years where when the phone rang, I was just, oh, now what? I
mm.
was so in me that when there was something new on just the phone, it took me a long time to tell myself when the phone was ringing, I smiled and I said, oh, I wonder what good news it is. And I forced myself to do that. So I didn't get that feeling, oh, what's next when the phone rang. And I can now use that with I welcome the unknown. The end I know is going to be good. Like I just absolutely feel that with every cell in my body. This is
Mhm.
a time where we're making a big shift. There's a
Yeah.
shift happening. And there's a lot out there that can keep you in fear. If you don't mind having that vibration of fear, then you can fill your day with that. But why not fill your day with being happy? And I can only make myself happy. Nobody can make me happy. Absolutely nobody. It's up to me how I want to feel. So I hear what's going on in the world, and I just sometimes go, really, Eva? Are you truly sticking with that? It's all unfolding in divine order. And I also believe in past life. Absolutely believe that before I came here, I chose this life and I have
Mm,
chosen many, many lives. Every living soul on this planet have agreed to the life that they're experiencing right now. And I find, yeah, experiencing, that's how I started to look at a situation coming up in my life. Wow, I'm having this experience.
mhm.
And I truly fell in love with being a human. I love being a human. It's so exciting. Get all these experiences, and some of them are, not always pleasant. But if you can catch yourself and go, now why am I having this experience? I'm really, really sad. Why am I having this experience? I'm having this human experience.
I have a lot of moments where I am in resistance to that human experience and going through what I need to go through, and it's only afterwards that it makes sense. It's only when you look back, it's like, "Oh, okay, now I understand why I went through that, and I'm so grateful." But I can be in so much resistant.
Absolutely. And that's where I could see later on that me damaging my shoulder was a blessing because I got to meet that minister that ended up bringing me to learning Reiki and then healing touch and all that. So opened the door for me. If you look back at many, many situations, good came out of it.
Right.
so many times because I do believe that the higher power has a plan for us. And it's sort of like you can plan all you want. I want to do that. But if you put on a little bit of a detour, that's fine. It's just like somebody could see something that you couldn't see. You know that with starting a business or starting anything. If you put this picket fence, and I can know that from my first marriage, I had such a picture in my mind. It's going to be so lovely. We're going to have a little house with a picket fence, and we're going to have a couple of kids, and I'm going to be so happy. But in a year, I could see that that's not how it is to be married. I saw the outcome 100%, and if it didn't look like that, then it was no good.
Hmm. It's interesting whether it's human design or other modalities or belief systems, there's this expression of let God take the wheel.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's certainly been a lesson for me over the years. And I think it continues to be of like, just let it all happen. Like I had a friend recently use the analogy of when you go to Disneyland as a little kid and you're in one of the rides, like the play cars, it's like there's a steering wheel, but you can't actually steer. The ride is taking you where it's going. And I think that I'm realizing more and more that that is the case. And we're trying so hard to get to that outcome that you described. And yet we're not actually in control of where we're going. It's predestined in some ways. And if we can let go of our resistance to where we want to go, it actually can be more beautiful than ever expected.
Yeah, and that is one word. Start to pay attention to words because we hear people say, "Oh, I'm going through a really hard time." And I'll say, "Well, isn't that good? You're going through it.
Hmm.
You're not staying in it. You just
Hmm.
confirmed I'm going through it." And when I have something coming up, I always say, okay, I'm going through this. Whatever is on the other side, I 100% believe that God knows what He's doing. Like
Hmm.
there's something waiting. I'm just going through this. And what is my lesson in it? It's not always that I'm, going along and going, oh, I wonder what my lesson is, No, I jumped in with both feet, just ask people around me, but
Hmm.
I'm aware of it.
Ava, I really appreciate your honesty and the wisdom that you share and your perspective and just your commitment to this work. I mean, it's clear that you have been living and breathing this path for so long. And when I see you in person, I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your energy, I see it in your aura, and it's I think that's why you're such a magnet to gathering all the people around at these fairs and in this work. It's like it's because you're such a bright light. I'm so glad that we were able to have this conversation today.
Me too. And for people, be aware of what you're thinking, connecting with your body, talk to your body. Like it's that's one other thing that I say is I am so grateful when I have pain because without pain, I could easily die. Body is telling you something. And I teach Tai Chi and it's all about connecting with the body. The body
Mhm.
is amazing. It's constantly talking to us, constantly. So be aware of what's running around in the head and connect with your body and be grateful.
And it's funny because the last question I usually ask is, what's one simple way that someone could connect with the sacred today? And I think you just answered that.
I do love to be alive, and I love
Mm.
getting people together and seeing them interacting. And we gotta have fun. That you can be in the deepest meditation and getting there, but we all know when we have a really good, spontaneous belly laugh, you are as present in life as you're gonna be.
So
Yeah.
true. So true. And I'm actually a laughter yoga facilitator.
I didn't
And
know that.
I know it's it's one of those things I just carry in my back pocket. And at the beginning of December, I'll be doing a laughter circle at Unity in Nanaimo, and it's been a while since I've done that, so I'm looking forward to it. And I wholeheartedly agree with you that laughter is such a powerful medicine.
Yeah, because we had Holly do laughing yoga at the shift some years ago. And it's interesting to observe people when they start to, because it's a fake laugh and they're not sure,
Hmm.
and they're shy. And we were like 50 people wandering around, pointing at each other and laughing.
Hmm.
And you could see how people eased up and
Oh,
eased.
yeah.
And then everybody was just laughing.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for you.
Mm.
It's we
So
forget
great.
to
We do.
laugh. People have forgot what it's like to laugh,
So true. Yeah.
especially at yourself. Come to that,
So
you
true.
laugh at yourself. That's the best laugh you're gonna get.
Yeah. So Ava, if anybody wanted to reach out to you and learn more about Shift in Action or any of the things that you offer in the world, where would be the best place for them to connect with you?
Well, they could go to Parksville Shift in Action Meetup, and also if they are on Facebook, my name.
Okay.
There's only one in Canada with that name, so
Okay.
you could find me on Facebook. And Shift in Action also have a Facebook page.
Okay, perfect. So we'll make sure that those links are in the show notes.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, Ava, thank you. It was such a treat to be able to have this conversation with you. And I'm so glad that you were able to be here with us today.
I'll thank you so much, and thank you for the work that you have in getting the words out there.
And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take good care. Thank you for joining us on Sacred Sundays. I hope something in today's offering spoke to your spirit, stirred something true, or simply gave you a moment to breathe. If this conversation resonated, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, or share the podcast. It truly helps this work reach the people who are meant to find it. And if you'd like to explore more of my work or connect with me directly, you can visit rosstayler.com, and that is Tayler with ER.com. Until next time, may your day be slow and sacred.